I always that and the Deep Sea King, that fight was cool too. I feel bad for how often like Genos is like this like S-class hero, but like he gets bodied like every single time.
He gets wrecked so much.
And he's like assumably super powerful, but
yeah.
He gets fucked.
Even like for an S-class, like he's not like this like low grade. Like whoever built him made him like really strong, but like really plastic or something.
Hello and welcome to this week's Pens and Pixels Popcast. I am your ill host, Cal G, and to my left is the coordinator extraordinaire, the healthy
Mike Kent. And when he says ill, he doesn't mean like there's no way to do that because he doesn't mean like sick, because then sick is like
I'm pretty sick.
He's sick.
I'm pretty ill.
Yeah.
No, but I'm actually like not feeling that well. We're gonna have a shorter show today. We're just gonna be doing basically one long glorified newsy news segment.
Yep.
Bringing you all the news you need to know. Obviously, that's what we do. It's just two white guys trying to figure out what to do in the world. That's all this podcast is about.
We got nothing better to do.
No. We're here to give you our opinions on the latest news and art of... No, fuck that up. Alright, moving on. Let's go.
Pop culture news and all the good stuff.
Yeah, Mike, you take it over for me. No. Okay.
He's high on Percocet.
No, T3s. Percocets for this morning. Alright, so we're just going to jump right into the newsy news. Alright, so first up, this week, BioShock Collection. That looks like it's something that's going to happen.
Yeah, like 1, 2, and 3.
Well, yeah, 1, 2, and Infinite.
3.
Infinite. There's a ratings board in Brazil. It leaked that info. Then there was something last year in September where it also like leaked information from like Amazon.com about how it's going to be an upcoming listing.
This was not going to be a thing?
No, not necessarily. But it's the thing. I would really like to play BioShock again. I don't really want to play 2 or Infinite.
I would never play 2 or Infinite ever again. But I don't even know if I'd play BioShock 1 again, because there's really not that much variation in it. You're either like the most horrifically evil thing that's ever existed that feeds on children, or you're the savior.
No, but don't you just ever get the... do you ever go replay games? Is that something
I do for sure, yeah.
You know, just to replay it again. It's been a long time since I played BioShock 1, probably.
Yeah, I don't feel like I didn't not accomplish what I needed to accomplish in that game. Like, well, actually, even some of the older classic Final Fantasies. Like, I've replayed Final Fantasy VII a lot, but I've officially feel like I've done it.
Yeah.
Like,
no, and you can totally hit that point. And if you hit that point with BioShock the first time through, that's totally understandable.
2 times. I got through 2 times.
Okay, yeah. I think I'd be back up for another romp in that world. A little romp per se. I hope they give you the option to do like buy them individually online, you know, like digitally.
Because I won't.
Because that's the thing. If it's like $20 for all of them, I probably won't get it.
You won't bother at all.
No.
You know, it's definitely going to be a package deal.
Well, that's too bad. 2K making mistakes. But 2K also coming to E3 in what they call a big way this year.
Yeah, but they always keep saying that. They could come in a big way and just come with more WWE content.
Well, that's very true, but I would hope that they have a little more like self-awareness to be talking to gamers about WWE, you know? Although people like those games too. That could be someone's big way.
Self-awareness.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Well, it doesn't really matter. Like, their content is so split, right? Like, they have they have BioShock 1.
They got BioShock. They have
was that like
Borderlands?
Yeah, Borderlands, which was a big hit, even though I thought it was just a big mesh of brown. No, they have a few titles that are up there. BioShock, was that like their original content, or did they have a team or hire a writer? Or
2K was publisher and Irrational was developer.
Yeah. Okay, so it's not really like it's almost all their content, right? Like,
I think they just owned those. I think they own those IPs. I think is what it is.
That's what I mean. So like, of the IPs they own, I think the IPs they own that are really good are from like outside sources.
Yeah, but they own BioShock. You know, they don't own Irrational. Irrational's gone, but they can get another studio to go develop another BioShock IP. BioShock 4.
Yeah.
Do you think this collection has anything to do with maybe, you know, a new title coming out? Do you think maybe at E3 they're going to be like, hey, here's the old ones to get you ready for the new one?
That's typically what they do. almost every time.
Geoshock, middle of the Earth. They already went under the sea to the sky. Now we're going to go center of the Earth.
I just didn't even think about that. You're right.
Let's go Geoshock.
Where would they go? But the thing is, Bioshock's done. Like, it's eventually at some point by the end when they're like time loops, you just got to be like, all right, so let's put this baby to bed.
So put this baby to bed just because time already? No, but you could go and do. I don't know.
No, that's the thing. Like, there's nothing else to do. You're like, yeah, you either go into the Earth, which, like, at this point, every single one of these towns are like, Earth is bad, so...
Earth is bad.
Earth is bad.
What if it's just Hans Mole Men people, like, down in the... We're the Mole Men!
Oh.
You'll never escape, except like that, and he bounces back up. No, but then you could have a big... You could be a ground Big Daddy, and you could still have a drill, and you just drill through the ground. It could just be Mr. Driller in 3D. Nah, I made your game for you. 2K.
Or they could just have Mr. Driller.
I wonder who owns Mr. Driller at this point.
Nintendo.
That's an IP no one appreciates.
No. Probably just Nintendo in general. But, no, I don't think they'll do Bioshock. I think they'll come up with something. I mean, God, I hope it's not more Borderlands.
That's happening for sure.
Yeah, but not... Oh.
Borderlands is fun. It's terribly written, but it got me with this gameplay loop with the finding the different guns.
What pissed me off about that was they're like, we have like 2,000 guns in this game or something like that, and then it turned out that they had 10 guns that they just renamed 2,000 things.
Well, a lot of them are very shitty, but that's where you get the money, right? You get money to go buy the bigger, better guns.
Yeah, which is the same gun.
Well,
it just made a bigger number.
Not all necessarily, but you're right. For the end game, for these, so I haven't played a lot of loot games. I'm not super into them, but like Borderlands is one I got into. But it does seem like in those kind of games, like there is, one rare drop from this one enemy that like everybody wants to have, like, and so it does end up being like everyone's build ends up being the same thing because this is the optimal build, right?
Yeah.
But I'm hoping they expand on Borderlands in a cool way, make it Border Worlds. Maybe it does a Destiny thing and it's online and.
No,
hop world to world, go vault.
Well, you just hate the story, so like now you're going to make them expand that story to more worlds. They're just going to have a bunch of really bad worlds.
So I want to clarify: I don't hate the story. I hate the dialogue. Every fucking character in Borderlands sounds like an idiot. The story itself is like fine. It's like they're vault hunters
so
going
generic.
around.
They're just like there's this planet where apparently everyone just stored ancient technology, like. ABC.
Even the characters and the character designs are like kind of interesting, but then as soon as anyone opens their mouth in that game, I'm just like, oh god, mute it. Like fuck, you're also annoying. Like I feel like the word awesome is so overused in that game. Everyone is saying like oh this is fucking awesome. Like it was like a game written by like a 12-year-old on Reddit type thing. Like it's just like holy shit. Like shut up. Like I could not stand it. But like it speaks to how much I did love that game that I wanted to continue to play it just on mute.
Well, it's like it played up almost this kind of like. Mad Max kind of thing with the bad guys, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it was very like Mad Max inspired.
Yeah, like I was expecting more of like this like road warrior go out and like see these raiders and like do that kind of shit and like like I was gonna go into this like barren world of like shit and things were gonna come at me and it was gonna feel like psychotic and like the world was just kind of lost into this realm of raiding and looting and like murder and horror.
Yeah, if you went in there expecting something different, that's another.
Well, this is what they had. The sheer box art. The guy on the front, like, holding, like, his finger to his head, going, like, oh.
Yeah.
Like, it played itself up on this, like, almost goofy Mad Max. And instead it was just brown with some, like, alien dogs and then a...
Borderlands 2 was a lot better for the color palettes, I'll say. They had a lot of cool art-wise stuff going on. There was, like, levels that were all purple... all like bright reds and greens and stuff. Like there's a lot of interesting stuff going on art wise in those games. I actually really like the art of Borderlands.
Did I just yawn my way through all of that? So
no, that's okay. Moving on. Okay, but 2K also they own Rockstar. Rockstar typically doesn't make their presence at E3 known, but I think maybe for something
really
they don't. Yeah, oh. They're usually like midday on like September. They're like, here's Grand Theft Auto 5. And then a trailer drops or whatever, But I think maybe for something as big as Red Dead Redemption 2, maybe if that's happening.
There was lots of rumors about that coming, right?
Exactly. Like, well, it was just recently backwards compatible on the Xbox One, and then it got taken down. So I think that's another announcement, because they seem to be pairing a lot of these things with, like Fallout 4. when Fallout 4 came out, you get Fallout 3 for free on the Xbox One. You could have the 360 version. There you go. You know, it's a little bonus.
There's definitely some connection. I could see Red Dead Redemption 2 definitely being released. But it's the funny thing is that game was more infamous than it was good.
No, I really enjoyed Red Dead Redemption.
I don't remember anyone like. No, it wasn't a bad game. Like I won't say like I was just like blech and I threw this aside. It had its fun moments, but like no one I knew got off of that and was like holy shit, like the next Assassin's Creed.
So a lot of people,
whatever, you know,
a lot of people consider that
Witcher.
like the best game of last generation. A lot of people consider that the best game in the last generation.
Really?
I am not one of those people, but there's a lot of love for that game, you know?
Really?
And I don't know if it's purely based on the story. Like, the story was pretty good.
Yeah.
You know?
I never talked to anybody or even really got a sense of reaction that anybody took it that seriously. The only thing I saw the most of was the sheer massive amount of collections of bugs in that game.
Yes, which are hilarious.
They're the funniest, greatest bugs that ever existed. The bird people, the cougar man.
Like, the people who were like horse. Like, and there's like
the donkey lady.
Shit.
Like, fuck. There was some amazing stuff. The carts that just started to, like, build up momentum on their own until eventually they couldn't stop shaking, and then they'd launch straight up. Like, not even like fling around like in Grand Theft Auto. You'd have that sometimes where a car would just like and fling around. Yeah. This thing just went straight up, and that was it.
I mean, one thing I really liked about Red Dead Redemption was like the fact that, you know, I took someone and I put them on a train track like an evil villain, and then a train ran over them, and I got an achievement for it, and I was like, oh, they were cool. I got an achievement for being mad.
For being a bad, like a 1970s black and white villain.
Yeah, for being a cartoon villain, you know?
It would be even better at that moment, like if you actually grabbed a woman in one of those big fancy dresses and put out there like the old timey music with the piano starting, ding, 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 ding. And it goes black and white.
You could have a tweedly little mustache.
And a little spinny mustache.
Spoilers for the end of Red Dead Redemption for the next minute or so. Sorry. Spoilers starting now. So at the end of that game, John Marston, your main character, dies, right?
Yeah.
And then you become his son. His son watches him die at some point, and then you grow up and you become, if you want to keep playing the game, you're John Marston's son.
Yeah.
So in my head, like, I played him as, like, because he saw his father killed, he was, like, insane. So he rode a donkey around, so I would only find donkeys to ride, and I would go through town with 2 pistols, and I would just be riding this donkey, and I would just start shooting people up, like, where's my daddy? I had a lot of fun doing that.
There's some role-playing opportunities inside of that game, that's for sure. Yeah. Speaking of the weird twirly mustache, I was at school the other day, and was opening a door, and I couldn't help it. This guy had full waxed twirly mustache, like the full curl too, right?
Was this like ironic hipster, like?
No, like he looked like he was taking it like totally serious, like. This wasn't just like a thing that he was doing like as like ha ha ha. Like he was like, I look good.
Huh.
It was so weird.
Did he look good, Mike?
No.
Oh.
Whoever you are, you looked awful. You did look like a villain from a Charlie Chaplin movie.
Charlie Chaplin looks like a villain in a Charlie Chaplin movie.
Yeah, that's true.
It's that Hitler stash. It's always that Hitler stash will get you.
He did have a Hitler stash.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
I don't know why I was picturing Charlie Chaplin with the spiral.
No. Yeah, Charlie Chaplin totally had a little Hitler stash.
And he's gonna kind of like.
But I think that was just a popular style at the time, and then Hitler ruined it for everybody. You know.
I think he kind of did us a favor with that.
Yeah, probably.
I don't think anyone looks good with a soul patch of any kind.
Do you think that's like a nose soul patch?
I know. A natch?
I never would have called it that in my life. That's a great way to put it, though.
A natch.
I don't grow any hair like in between that like this lip divot thing.
Yeah,
like none at all.
And between, I grow a little tiny bit where the soul patch happens, but then the connection to the chin never happens. Like I can't connect the chin to.
So you would just get like the world's sickest soul patch.
A little soul patch, and then there'd just be beard underneath it.
You should just grow like one really long soul patch, and then claim you're metal as fuck.
I'm sure someone's done that and like braided it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm sure that's happened.
And you just know everyone just grab it and just be like, yank.
Oh my god, I wonder how painful that is. If I could grow more facial hair, I'd want to know.
If you did that, you grab someone and you yanked it, but just like whack their head into a table, like you're both sitting at a desk, and you grab and just go yank, whang, right on the side of the. Why? You know what you did.
Never be desk mates with Mike. So
you were my desk mate. You know what it's like.
All right, so next up, another collection. Well, not really so much a collection, but Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6 are coming to the PS4 and Xbox One this year.
Only particular... Wait, 4, 5, and 6, I'm trying to remember. 4 was the Cube one.
Yes, 4 was the one on the GameCube.
Oh, I love that one.
That one's amazing.
Yeah. What was 5?
5 was the one with Chris and Sheva, and they're in Africa.
Oh, that was the really racist one.
It's not racist.
Everyone said it was.
Yes,
said it
sure.
was.
And then 6 is the newest one, which is not very good.
Oh, okay. I don't know that one.
So they're not. It's not a collection. They're all coming out individually.
Well, they did announce the next Resident Evil coming, right?
No, they have nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought they announced another Resident Evil was coming.
I can look it up right now, but I'm fairly certain.
Well, it would. I mean.
Oh, I mean, Resident Evil 2 is being remade.
Oh, so then that's why they're doing this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Resident Evil 7 in itself has not been confirmed. No.
Yeah, okay. No, that's what it is. I knew there was some sort of Resident Evil news about a game in some fashion. So yeah, then this is definitely just in response to them.
Yeah, they really weirdly confirmed the Resident Evil 2 remake a while back. Like, it was on Facebook.
Yeah.
And they were like, yep, it's probably going to happen now. And then they're like, for sure it's going to happen. And they had no logo, no artwork, nothing. They were just like, we just confirmed it. Pre-production meetings are starting soon. Like, it was very odd. I assume that, at maybe E3 this year, they'll actually have a little something for us.
Maybe. I hope they get themselves back into basically Resident Evil 4 mode.
Resident Evil 6 is coming out on March 29th. 5 is going to come out in the summer, and 4 is going to come out in the fall. Each game is going to cost you $19.99.
Really?
Yeah.
Why not just do it in a package?
I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure why they're doing this style of release, and I'm not really sure why they're all $20. I mean...
Then again, I only want 4.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's good. That's kind of what I wanted for the Bioshock one, right? Like,
yeah.
I just wanted Bioshock 1.
So maybe it is a better system, because I don't want to have to spend probably going to be like $80 for all those Bioshocks, even though I would only ever play one, right?
Yeah.
And I will never... Like, the sheer fact that I spent all that money on Infinite when it first came out.
I think Resident Evil 4 has had the most re-releases of any game of all time.
I think you're right, because that game has been out on, like, fucking everything.
Like, I'm going to look it up right now. It has come out on, like...
It's been on every system since it came out on the Cube.
It was on the GameCube,
yeah.
The PS2.
It was on the Wii.
Oh, yeah, you're right, yeah, it was on the Wii.
Yeah. Was it on Wii U? Has it been onto the Wii U?
I don't think so. I'm looking at it. Sorry, I'm just...
Yeah. No. So it's been PlayStation 2 would have been the one... No, it came out on 3.
Okay, so Resident Evil... Yeah, so... GameCube, PlayStation 2, Wii. There's a mobile edition. Apparently. Resident Evil iPad edition. Then there was Resident Evil 4 HD.
Yeah.
Then there was Resident Evil 4 Ultimate HD Collection. That was on PC.
And
those were, Resident Evil 4 HD was on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360.
Yeah. And then now it's doing the PlayStation 4 release and probably a Wii U release at some point.
And you know what? That game is so good that I don't even mind.
I fucking love that game.
It still holds up.
It's so good.
The controls are a little weird at this point. Like, they do feel a little bit dated, but
they are
it's
clunky.
still...
They were clunky back then.
But it was doing something new at the time. It was the first game that did that, like, over-the-shoulder style, aiming mode and stuff. And, like, it was still transitioning from classic Resident Evil tank controls to this new control scheme.
Yeah, totally. And there was the one thing that got me about that game was that they included a couple of really cool mechanics that were awesome to kind of add a little bit of that. Because there was almost no reason as to why your characters were either, one, perfectly immune to the T-virus. And then 2, even capable of killing things better than all of the super soldiers that were running around, right? Because, like, you just shot guns like everyone else. But in that one, they included a few things where, like, the kicking, right?
Yeah.
Which was awesome. Like, something got close enough, you just whack its head off, right? So, like, you got the sense of, like, Leon was...
a big part of the strategy was when you were going with a bunch of slow-moving zombies was you'd shoot them in the knee and you could run up to them and then you could kick their head and then that would down them forever.
Yeah. And there was all sorts of stuff like that. There was a few moves around, like, just kicking things, knocking them off. That was really fun. But I always felt it really clunky to even get that whole kicking thing to work, because sometimes you just, like, you wouldn't. They'd come up and you'd be like, all right, kick. And then the button option wouldn't come up. And they'd just, like, start biting you, and you're like, oh.
It's because there's a short window when you hit one of their limbs to do it. That's what it is. So if you ran up to them before, if they've already recovered, that's probably why.
And I was never clear. I never knew that. And then the other thing, which should have been a thing, was they had characters that were throwing, like, axes and shit at you.
Yeah.
And you could shoot them out of the sky.
Yeah.
who the fuck could aim that well? Because they were tiny, and there were like 6 of them coming at you sometimes, and everything's brown, so you wouldn't even see it. You just hear, and you're
tink, tink, tink. You take that shit out.
Did you do it perfectly and nail? Like, how many times did you honestly be like, "Oh, an axe is coming. I'm going to aim up," because aiming up in that game was a bitch.
Yeah, not super often. No. But I would usually hit their hand because I'd see them raising out, so I'd hit their hand before they ever got a chance to throw it.
Like, I spent so much time just trying to make sure I stayed at high level to actually get them in the head.
I played that game a lot.
Yeah.
So,
like, I mean, I'm sure there are people out there who are like mastered it and are perfect at it, but like, for the first time you're doing it, you spent most of your time just being like, alright, I'm gonna get hit by a lot of knives. Like, they should have made a system a little bit more intuitive. Not auto-aiming, but maybe a bit more auto-locking. Not locking, just, like, switched up if you knew it was coming and you were aiming in the right way or something, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, long story short, the controls were new.
Yes, they were new, and they still seem a little clunky now. I think they redid them for the HD version, if I remember.
I heard that. I heard it was actually smoother.
Yeah, it's a little bit more, like, modern-y.
Yeah. But, I mean, like, there was nothing wrong with the game. Even the visuals hold up.
Yeah, they're still pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it still looks decent. Like,
so I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I'll probably still play it again.
I'm definitely playing it.
I'm not even, like, disappointed this is, like, a 6th port. Like, bring it on.
Yeah, just let me do it again.
Just bring it on.
Yeah. I never even finished that one.
Speaking of things happening too many times, Pokemon Sun and Moon have been officially announced.
So many people got so excited about it, and I'm like... Can you still really be excited about it?
No, like, I don't know, man. I was a really big Pokemon fan. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'd call myself a Pokemon fan still. It has a special place in my heart, let's say.
Alright, listeners, go on Instagram right now and look up Cal, and tell me if he's a Pokemon fan.
I only have, like, 3 pieces of Pokemon art on there.
You lie. You lie so hard.
I only have, like...
The most current 2 pieces are Pokemon pieces.
Yeah, but those are old.
And you did Pokemon a day for, like, ever.
Not on my Instagram.
Is that on your Instagram?
No.
Booyakasha!
Booyakasha! So, but that's the thing. So, here's the thing with my history with Pokemon. Is I love Pokemon. I was a crazy person who had like two DSs out. I would be trading back and forth so I could get my perfect team to do all this shit, And then you saw me. I was doing Pokemon a day to celebrate Pokemon X and Y coming out.
Every single time anything Pokemon came up, you were like, yes, yes.
Yeah, I was super stoked. I don't know if you ever knew, but when those games came out, I didn't really care for them.
Oh.
And it's not that it was like better or worse than the old games. I was just like disenchanted with it. I was just like, oh, I'm not into this anymore. And then, so it's kind of sad, but I kind of thought like, oh, maybe I just wasn't in the mood for it at this time. So I tried to go back to like one of the classic games at some point.
Yeah.
Couldn't get into it again.
This is definitely...
It finally just like... It like left my body like a fucking evil demon like exercised from me. I was just like it was no longer with me, and I was just like, this is like a little sad. Like I still hold Pokemon dearly, but I'm no longer excited about it. I just realized I'm like, for some reason this doesn't catch me anymore.
No, those games suffer pretty hard from like just too much add-on, because like there's a comic book joke out there about, or no, it was a Dorkly bit where they're like trying to explain Pokemon to the original like Pokemon guy who came back, like he played Red, like the original, and then hadn't played since, and now they're like, and now like there's Mega Evolutions and Fusions, and then like pills are really important or something. I don't even know anymore. Like there's just so much fucking shit getting added on every single game, and it's just like. It's like this old system where they're adding all this stuff on.
Well, that's the thing, though. At its core, it's the exact same game that came out in 1998, just with a bunch of bells and whistles on it.
Yeah, but those bells and whistles are starting to just get really hackneyed and added on.
Well, that's the thing. The bells and whistles are never the best part about those games. There's like the Pokemon, the contests and stuff, where it's just like they're almost like beauty pageants where you like perform an attack and the judges will rate it and stuff. And it's always this shit where I'm just like. It's not what I want to spend my time doing.
No.
I want to spend my time doing the core stuff I was doing in 1998, just over again, in prettier graphics, and I just don't want that anymore.
No.
And also with this announcement, they gave us basically nothing. Like, they just said the names of them, and they were like, that's it.
And at the
there was
same
no,
time...
there's a release date, holiday 2016, which is cool, but no art or screenshots or video.
No, but at the same time, even the fan base themselves have been begging for a 3D Pokemon RPG.
Yes.
I want it like fucking Mega Man Legends, Like, you take your trainer out, and then, like, if you drop the Pokemon, the trainer, like, backs out a screen, and then you have the Pokemon. You can even be locked into a space, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then you have to fucking fight.
Yeah.
Like, I know that everyone's dear to the original turn-based Pokemon and all that stuff, but I would love to see some live-action fucking Pokemon battles, because they don't happen.
Have you seen Pokken? That Tekken Pokemon
oh, yes.
fighting game? Yeah. something like that, but with like those are the Pokemon battles, but you also have an overworld to go around and capture them and fight. You know, that would be the ideal for me. Like
I want full. I don't want like even a battle sequence. I want to be able to go out in the world and see like a Bulbasaur walking across a grass plain.
Oh, okay.
And then like send mine out, and then like go and fucking like beat the shit out of it.
Yeah,
I capture it.
So there's so
I have to aim my Pokeball in order to actually hit it.
There's been a lot of stuff over the years where Game Freak has not. Obviously they've thought about making a console Pokemon RPG, but they're like, nope. True Pokemon's on handhelds, blah blah blah, all this stuff.
Yeah, but I feel like die.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I feel like when Nintendo is like, struggling for breath, they're dying. Their company is just like on its last fucking leg. They're just holding themselves up by their like this teeny little dick. They're just like, they're like Game Freak.
Oh, I don't know if it's about a teeny dick. It's a pretty big dick.
Please make Pokemon on the console. And then that'll be their trump card, and then like boom, and they'll sell like 40 billion copies.
Well, currently, that I feel that Nintendo's like lost a couple of limbs. Like they've got one leg and one arm, and then their big dick to use as a third leg.
Their third leg. That's really only a second leg now. Yeah, I feel like that'll be like their last like trump card. Like we need something.
Yeah, that's the thing. That a console Pokemon would draw in so much fucking business.
There was a rumor. This is a little off topic. There was a rumor though that some executive said somewhere about he said Zelda NX, which is Nintendo's next console, right?
Oh yeah.
And he said like, and then that got everyone swirling about like, oh fuck, is it going to be a Twilight Princess situation where that was released on the GameCube and the Wii?
Yeah.
And now this new Zelda is going to be released on the Wii U and the NX at the same time,
Which is going to happen.
Yep, it seems like that'll for sure happen at this point. I can't imagine.
I didn't think it wasn't going to. Like they were just trying to hide the fact that it was going to happen. And
it seems so like no! It seems so like I don't want to say like shitty, but like this Wii U went a whole generation without having a proper Zelda game.
Not enough people care. Nintendo definitely has a market. Nintendo still is a console. It's an incredible company because they still have the greatest original titles. So no hate on for Nintendo. The thing is like it's done. Like there isn't enough to sustain them anymore. They don't do it right. They never do it exactly. Like both Xbox and PlayStation have proven how to maintain the console generation. Right? Everyone kept saying the console generation was going to die. The consoles, no one's going to deal with something that's got less technology than a PC or doesn't look good as good, doesn't run as good. Sony and Xbox proved that wrong by just releasing. Sony did a good machine, right, every single time. And offering exactly what it was that their user base wanted, and it's still the most popular way for people to game, or one of them. But Nintendo, they're like, all right, guys, so this is what everyone else is doing, and it's been proven to work, and we've done it 4 times. So if you guys just do like maybe 50% of that, you're going to succeed. No.
Here's friend codes.
Yeah.
No.
And it's just like maybe it's lost in translation or something. It's just like this Japanese man, and he's like, nope.
No, but like Sony's Japanese and they got it all correct, I just don't understand. I just don't understand that some of their decision making. I know they want to be different, but whatever. We'll see what happens. Yeah. Moving on. Fuck Pokemon Sun and Moon. I'll probably still buy them and then never touch them.
Really? Really?
What? Yeah, probably.
Oh, dude.
So Todd Howard, Fallout 4 man.
Yep.
He recently said, in regards to those longer-term projects he was talking about, the 3 projects that he has working on, he said he teased that the time from announcement to release could be a lot shorter, although don't expect a Beyonce-style situation. How long that time is to be determined. It could be a lot shorter, believe it or not, or 6 months could be the right amount of time. It differs per project.
Props for the Beyonce reference.
Yeah, and I really like, regardless of my feelings on Fallout 4, I really like how they did that. They just revealed it, and then they're like, yeah, it's out 6 months later.
Yeah, I mean, like, the drawn-out, like, ad campaign, like, I mean, Final Fantasy 15 is kind of suffering for that for me. Because, I'm so fucking hyped for that game.
That's at the opposite end of the spectrum, where it's been in development for, like, 8 years.
That's what I mean, though. It's, like, not even just 8 years. Let's just take, like, let's say the cycle was, like, 3 years, right? Because
sure.
We got that stupid preview, 8 years ago, and they should never have said anything. And then we actually probably started working on it properly 3 years ago, or whatever the fuck the story was.
See, but I don't think you can use that as an example either, because I think they had so much course correcting to do on the messaging of that game because it originally debuted in 2000.
But my point about the whole thing is that, right now, since they're coming up to a release date, all they keep on doing is spewing information at us, making us more and more hyped for it. We don't even have a release date. We still have to wait another fucking 30 days until we even find out what the release date is.
True.
And whatever the fucking release date is, after that, it could be in September, we're going to still have to fucking wait. And I'm so fucking tired of waiting. I'm tired of hearing about news, right? Like, I don't want to keep getting, like, fucking edged all the way to the end of this fucking thing. Okay.
Mike, how disappointed would you be? How blue-balled would you be if on March 30th, Square Enix was like, coming in 2017, Q2?
Fuck, I think it's going to, is the thing. Like, the due date in my head keeps getting further away because they're saying, oh, it's coming. No, they said it was coming in 2016 at the active time report.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's coming this year.
Yeah, I think they said it was 2016. Fuck. But everything in my body keeps telling me that it's going to get delayed.
Oh, yeah, there's definitely a chance.
Yeah.
It's one of those things.
And it's making me so mad.
That's okay.
Hey, this is the first time we brought up Final Fantasy 15 in 3 podcasts.
Yeah, we've stayed away from it for a little bit.
We've done good.
Yeah, that's good. There was no news, and we're just waiting. We're slowly biding our time. You know?
We do like other games.
Barely. Okay. There's a bunch of Persona news released. And it's a bunch of, like, little things. Like, it's a bunch of, it was released through a Persona magazine in Japan. Apparently they have a magazine.
A whole magazine just for Persona. Good God, the people for that game.
Today marks the release of Persona Magazine 2016 in March, which features a new interview with the Persona series director, Katsura Hashino, who shares new tidbits of info on Persona 5.
Which is?
So he talks about the setting, he talks about the dungeon level design is vastly different from previous games. All of them incorporate different stories and can be thoroughly enjoyed.
So this is probably leaning more towards, like, you're actually going into people's heads or something like that. That's that whole stealing thing, maybe, like you're stealing memories and thoughts, like Inception.
Well, he goes on to say, by choosing the cliched theme of Phantom Thieves, Atlus hopes to surprise users and put in more ideas than can be imagined. Atlus wants to skillfully combine contemporary drama with Persona to create something that expresses the fun of entertainment. Think about that sentence. It makes no fucking sense.
No, I mean, that was just words.
The fun expresses the fun of entertainment. I like how he also says...
That's like a graphic designer trying to... the graphic designer who designed the Pepsi logo. Have you ever read the design report from the new Pepsi logo?
No.
It's insanity. It's like sitting there and it's like, it expresses the global unity of the world and the rotation of the universe and how it all unifies us together. Literally. And the new Pepsi logo.
I always have to wonder if people believe that shit when
they did, because they paid him like $18 million for that shit or something fucking ridiculously high like that. Or the company at the very least. It was just this load of fucking horse shit. It's the most ridiculous thing you've ever read. That sounds exactly like that. Just marketing speech.
Yeah, then he talked about the characters a little bit. Regarding Ryuji Sakamoto. A Let's Change the World character who pulls along the protagonist. The hero begins his phantom thieving after getting caught up with Ryuji. He's insistent, but kind on the inside. His personality is a good match for his voice actor, and that's just some Japanese guy I don't know, so I'm not going to say his name.
Again, it's a contrast. He's a phantom thief who steals and is a bad guy, but is also saving the world?
Yeah. There will be a system similar to social links, which has been in Persona 3 and 4, so that's... is communication the driving force for those who are trying to make a change? With that question in mind, Hashino says that it would be good if Persona 5 depicted human relations a step above Persona 3 and 4 social links. Which I thought they both did a good job, actually, with, relationships in that game.
They're definitely leaning, the whole thing is like, this whole Phantom Thief thing is actually like, like maybe in people's heads, stealing ideas or implanting ideas. I feel like an Inception thing coming out of this Persona.
I really like the idea that he said, by choosing the cliched theme of Phantom Thieves. What the fuck?
How's that a cliched?
I don't know.
Maybe in Japan, actually.
There must be some weird translation going on here.
No, but in Japan, if you think about it, actually, Phantom Thieves is a cliched theme because there's always a joke Phantom Thief character in almost every anime.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Like, ever since Lupin or whatever, that's pretty much it.
That's it for the gaming news. Now we're on to movie news. That was my movie noise. Game of Thrones actor Finn Jones to play Iron Fist. I have no idea who this is. Mike, discuss.
Well, there's nothing much to discuss. It's not a weird option because Marvel hires no-namers for most of this stuff. I mean, I never know the actress who played Jessica Jones really from anything.
She was in Breaking Bad. That's where I knew her from.
Okay,
but she wasn't she was a major character for like 4 episodes type thing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, this is like characters you just wouldn't really expect, and it's the same thing for the guy who plays Daredevil. So it's kind of like a thing for them is to take these actors who have shown up in major television series for like spots, and that's it. So this guy's the same thing. He played the male gay lover of someone of the Baratheon brothers or something like that. I don't know. I don't fucking know Game of Thrones.
do you not watch Game of Thrones?
No,
for some reason I thought you did.
I hate Game of Thrones. And then he's now the like lover of one of the girls, or anyways, I don't know. But he's a man whore in Game of Thrones.
Sure.
But he's pretty, which kind of works out perfectly for this character, right?
Yeah.
Like this blonde, pretty boy who's going to end up becoming a kung fu master.
There was a bunch of controversy around this casting choice.
Really?
Not because it was him.
No, because people wanted them to break away. He's not an Asian character in the comic books.
Yeah, but they wanted him to be an Asian in the TV show?
Yeah, in order to bring in more, like, ethnic casting. But, like, do you think after all the bitching people do about not making stuff accurate to the comic books that they're going to go, well, let's not pick someone who looks just like the character from the comic books? And to that point, the entire story would have to be rechanged in order to match up, because like there's this whole background story to him and like his family and blah blah blah, and the fact that he's a foreigner makes a difference for him when he gets trained. And
I wasn't really understanding why people were so
like, of all characters, you shouldn't change this one, really. I mean, it's the same argument going back and forth when everyone got mad that one of the characters in Hunger Games 1, Rue, got changed to a black kid, and then there's a black stormtrooper. Like, does it matter at all? Why are we looking at this in the slightest? We shouldn't be pointing out race in the slightest. I think some of the whitewashing in movies is a thing, for sure. I mean,
it absolutely is.
Everyone's freaking out about Gods of Egypt right now, right?
Yeah.
Because like it was an Egyptian movie without a single Egyptian in it. And I kind of get that argument totally for that one. But at the same time, there's
I absolutely get it for that kind of thing. For that, why aren't you casting? And there is, I think, there's arguments to be made. When comics were made back in, I don't know when Iron Fist was made back in, I want to say the 60s. Sure. Back then, times were different, and maybe everyone was white back then. You're mostly having white characters in this.
Everyone was white back then. Black people didn't exist.
No. I'm saying in media. I'm saying in media, they just made everyone white by default, right?
Yes,
there wasn't a lot of
there wasn't a call for it because there was an issue.
No, so now in the modern times, I get that you want to update things, make things a little more modern. I totally get that argument. But for this one, I don't think I get it as much.
No, I don't get it for this one at all. And I mean, everyone's like, well, they put white people into major films because they need star power in order to make these things work, like making Jake Gyllenhaal the Prince of Persia.
Yeah. Like, Ridley Scott had something to say about is Ridley Scott making that one with Christian Bale? It was yeah. He said something about he's like, well, I couldn't have got an actor cast who was not a white actor or something like that.
Yeah, it was a really racist comment. I remember reading about that too. But there is a small valid point to it. Like, without star power behind it, there's so many people out there who go and see movies. Well, you're one of them. You put your fat guy there from 10 Cloverfield Lane,
John Goodman,
into anything, and you'll probably go see it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
See? Mm-hmm. And I have the same thing for me. I have certain actors and actresses that I find, they're in a movie, I'm like, right? And
true, but in that Ridley Scott situation, I feel like we're getting a little off topic here.
No, it's fine. This is a good topic.
Yeah, but so I feel like but someone like Ridley Scott, he has so much power in the industry. He's been around for so long. I feel like if anyone could fight back against it has to be a white guy because they wouldn't get casting. I feel like Ridley Scott has the power to be like, no, I want to cast a black actor for this role because that's more historically representative, and I'm Ridley Scott, listen to me.
Well, he should be doing that for sure.
That's what I'm thinking. Where if it was a smaller director having to do that, or a first timer, I can see them not wanting to push as many buttons. But for someone like Ridley Scott, come on, man, swing your dick around a little bit.
Well, I mean, it falls to any of them. I mean, what's the guy who did Avatar there? Spielberg.
M. Night Shyamalan.
No, not the bad Avatar.
Oh, I don't know why my mind went there immediately.
No, but that's a really good example though, because
why did my mind go to the terrible one? I'm sorry. Yeah, fuck.
I have no.
The Blue Cat one, James Cameron.
James Cameron. That's Steven Spielberg. But actually, funny enough, the bad Avatar is a really good example because they did whitewash that, right? The anime was clearly cast with an incredibly ethnically diverse team.
No, it wasn't. But didn't they? Correct me if I'm wrong here, but in the movie, didn't they just get everyone's races wrong? Wasn't the Fire Nation people all?
No, most of them were white people. Everyone was white. Sokka and his sister. Oh my god, Katara have dark skin, right? They look almost Native American-ish and or Eskimo and or whatever, right? And they're white.
Yeah,
they're as white as snow. And then Aang's
Asian, isn't he?
Aang's Asian, but he was also cartoon Asian.
And the fire people
were all like hardcore Chinese looking. Like, I mean,
no, weren't they? I thought they were like
Japanese.
I thought they were like Iranian or something.
No, they were heavily Japanese and Chinese influenced in all designs and looks.
In the show they were.
In the show.
I'm talking about in the movie.
Oh.
I'm talking about the movie.
No, in the movie they made Zuko was an Indian actor.
Yeah, okay, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, okay, that's what I'm saying. In the movie, didn't they fuck everything up? Didn't they make everything all different?
Yeah,
instead of making the fire race people like Japanese, they went with Indians for some reason.
Yeah, even then it just kind of went all over the place because Iroh was, I don't even know what Iroh was. Everyone was just a different race.
I also only watched 20 minutes of that movie before I had to shut it off. Yeah. Even I couldn't watch it.
I went to the theater to see it, and I had to sit through the whole thing. And my parents went with me, and I was just like, oh, I feel so bad.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I remember thinking that was going to be like a fun movie to drink to. I just watched the entire animated series, and I was like, oh, I love this series. And my roommate was like, let's not watch the movie. And I was like, no, but let's just we'll play a drinking game. Drinking anything will be fun, right? And then we got through 20 minutes of it and it was like, we have better ways to spend our time.
It's a bad movie.
Yeah.
Anyways, on the whole whitewashing thing, I just think that it shouldn't be a conversation. It should just be everybody should just not pay attention to who's put into what and start putting whoever is really good at it, right? So we have a black stormtrooper. When I saw that, I literally had no thoughts whatsoever. I was like, oh, there's our main character. And then everyone's like, skin.
I understand where you're coming from, but I think it needs to be a conversation because there are so many people who don't want it and do react negatively to it, you know?
No, but I always feel that because we make such large arguments about things like this and that people's voices are so loud now because of the internet, that we make it into such a large thing that now it becomes a central focus. And if we didn't keep on freaking out and focusing in so hard on it like that it wouldn't be this huge conversation and such an issue. People would just ethnic backgrounds of all kinds would just start getting included because they were.
And see, I don't think that I don't see. I don't know. I don't think that's the case. I do think it needs to be talked about at least. I think it's worth bringing up. I think sometimes the noise gets a little bit too loud about it. I think people freak out about. I think they make issues out of stuff like this where it's the character is white, you cast a white guy, and then all of a sudden you're
why were you trying to push it and make it an Asian guy?
Yeah, that kind of thing. I'm like, okay, maybe we're pushing in the wrong direction here a little bit, but when it is something like whitewashing or something like that, I think it's a little more.
My biggest argument against the whole making him Asian too is that you're basically making it into the story of Bruce Lee.
You're just basically making a Rush Hour movie at this point.
And even then. But it's making it into Bruce Lee and the Dragon story because you've got an Asian guy who comes to an American urban city, right?
Yeah.
Like Bruce Lee, and then he learns martial arts and he's a martial art master and he goes around and changes the world with his martial arts. It's just you might as well just hire a Bruce Lee lookalike at this point. It's a different story. It's this foreign guy going into a foreign world and training with these people who normally would never take in a foreigner, right?
Yeah.
It's not really that much of a mystical journey if he's just so I went into the backyard and they introduced me to the dragons. And...
Yeah, no, I'm like I said, I don't get the controversy with this particular issue, but in general, I think it's a conversation worth having.
It's definitely worth still talking about. I just think people are talking too loud.
It's when issues get made of stuff like this where I'm like, nah, maybe this isn't the place where you push the agenda. Maybe it's the bigger issues.
Yeah. I mean, fighting over John Boyega becoming the Black Stormtrooper, there's one you have to have a conversation about. The fact that anyone would freak out. And also, because his introduction was in this trailer was so dramatic, made it funnier in my head because everyone turned on that trailer and they're like, new Star Wars. And if you were like a racist or something, and then suddenly John Boyega goes, "Burn!" and just raises his head, and you're like, it's like, no! It was like Abrams was just wanting to go, boo! to every single Ku Klux Klan member out there.
Yeah, I remember I don't pay attention to Star Wars news a lot, but like I did see a lot of like people talking about that, and it's so ridiculous that it's even an issue to people.
I never even thought about it once until people started talking about it. That was the thing that got me, I think, because I was just like, there's our main character, there's our other characters,
yeah,
there's our characters,
yeah, absolutely. Never crossed my mind.
Not for a second. I'm like, there's a dude.
Yeah. People make us think about nothing. All right, next up, Spike orders a pilot for a TV series based on Stephen King's The Mist, one of my favorite books of all time.
Really?
Oh yeah, I got it on the shelf over there.
Oh,
have you read The Mist? Huh, sorry.
Did you like the movie?
Yeah, I love the movie.
I actually like the movie too.
Movie's really good.
The movie is like almost that movie.
The movie is like a great adaptation up until the end, and the end is even better than the books.
No.
Yeah, I think so.
The ending was dumb.
The ending was fantastic.
No.
The ending was great. It was so fucking harrowing. All that shit. Spoilers for The Mist if you haven't seen it for the next, I'm going to say 2 minutes. Sorry, tune out for a second. So, ending the book, they just all get in the car and they drive off in the mist. That's it. They all get out and they just drive in the mist. That's it. That's all you see. Mm-hmm. And in the movie, fucking dude, like, he has to murk everybody because he's like, this is not a world worth living in. Has to murder the child, the girl, and then some other guy, right?
No, it's just he kills the kid and the girl.
Okay, and then the state army like rolls in, right? Like through the mist. Yeah, fantastic ending. Fantastic.
No,
it's like
I don't know if I really even
so atypical of a movie to do that. You know, like, but it wasn't the happy ending. It was like you never get endings like that. You never get endings that are just so like, well, that's fucked, right?
I don't really want to debate that ending because I've debated it with so many people before, so I'm not going to get into this. But I just found it dumb. Like, if you know you're going to die, right? And, like, don't just shoot each other in the head. Take the gun and make one last run into the mist and hope to God that you, like, survive, you know?
No, I love that ending. Stephen King saw the ending and said he wished he ended the book like that. Because Frank Darabont changed the ending from the book. And, like...
I liked a lot of the visuals. I loved when they were driving the car and they actually saw, like, that giant one that was, like, you know, like 2 skyscrapers tall.
Yeah.
With, like, the weird hands underneath it and shit.
So, disregarding the ending, do you like The Mist as a whole?
I liked that movie.
Yeah. So that the book was one of the original inspirations for Silent Hill, the original one on PS1, and I think it'll actually work as a TV series with, you know, all the drama going on in that grocery store and stuff. You know, like you could probably play that out into like a 12-episode season and actually have that be like.
I have Walking Dead fears, so.
Yeah, I can see that.
Every season is in a new building that they make it over to. You know, a couple of characters are main characters that survive. Everyone else is just fodder to die.
See, and
zombies, as I quote in the air.
What I would want to see is almost like one season of just like a longer version of the movie, almost. You know, like a little more fleshed out, so you get a little more of the characters and like what they're going through and stuff. But then that's it. But you know, if it's successful, they're going to do the Walking Dead thing, and they make it across the road to the next grocery store.
There's like a grocery store, and there's going to be some Daryl-like character and some lead character that goes psycho, the main guy, and he's just like...
Hey, if there's a Daryl character, sign me up.
No, like, that's the thing. I can just feel this, like...
It could be easily...
This is Spike TV trying to get in on Walking
I was going to say, it could be easily ruined. Also, it's on Spike.
That's the thing.
And I don't know... honestly...
Spike TV's like, we're not relevant anymore. Let's try and make Walking Dead.
I wasn't really sure they were even around anymore, so I don't know about any of this, so...
I didn't even know they were around. I thought that whole, like, you know, like, titties and explosions channel was gone.
Yeah. I remember when they first came out, that's like literally what they were marketing themselves
Literally.
as.
They literally would like shake boobies on a commercial.
Yeah.
And then like crack a can of beer.
And like have a car drive by really fast.
Yeah, and then someone would like play football and then maybe a fart joke and like that was it.
Yep.
Like and then they're like Spike TV.
Like it was the most like cartoonish depiction. It was the most like cartoonish depiction of like a man you could possibly have.
Yeah.
Like
and then like and tonight, nothing but action films.
Yeah, it was almost like a parody of itself. But it's still around, so it did well enough for a while, right?
It was a great place for late night to rewatch all the Die Hards.
That's true. I remember when they first came out, too, they had, like, They had Stripperella, which was a Pamela Anderson superhero show.
Yeah.
Made by Stan Lee?
Yeah.
Yeah? Was that correct?
I think.
They had a show... I'm 90% sure
that was animated, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had another animated show with a rat. He was a lawyer. A rat was a lawyer. Haha, do you get the joke? Rats are lawyers.
Was it?
Yep. And, because, I know this. It was voiced by one of my favorite people, Kelsey Grammer, Frasier.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that happened.
So weird.
Yeah. Isn't that fucking dumb?
Yeah, I remember them trying to release their own original series and stuff, and trying to get in on the adult cartoon stuff that Teletoon was hitting it on.
Yeah. And I think all those things got one season, and then they just died.
Yeah.
And I know Spike TV made a pretty good living for a while when they were doing that. There was a show where they did pirates versus ninjas, and they would have
This is a thing?
Yeah, but they'd have I don't want to say scientists, might be a loose term, but they would have
a band with lab coats, and they're just a testing room, and they push a button, and the door goes.
So they'd have
out come the pirates, and they're like.
They'd have a body of made of this gelatin that was about the same consistency as a human, right? So then they'd throw stars, ninja stars into it and see how deep they would go and how badly that would actually injure the pirate, or something like that. I forgot what it's called.
That sounds very dumb.
Yeah, it was. But I watched a couple episodes of it.
Lowbrow male entertainment, because that was a thing. I guess it was a thing though, because it was a big hit.
Yeah, it got me for a little bit. Moving on to more lowbrow entertainment, Netflix is producing an original anime series with the studio behind Ghost in the Shell.
It's not lowbrow. It's not lowbrow.
I just wanted to insult anime. No, I like anime.
It's Ghost in the Shell is actually considered a great masterpiece in writing.
Yeah, so there's not much meat to the story, but
it's still very cool.
Netflix is partnering, with the people who did the Ghost in the Shell TV adaptation, the End of Evangelion film, and
great.
the Attack on Titan TV show.
Which was spectacular.
Yeah. And I mean, that's not to say that this is going to be a great story-wise, because we have no fucking idea, but it's going to look great, probably.
Well, I mean, yeah. This is just animation, or are they doing the writing, do you think? Because they've done the writing for the other shows, too. Well, I mean, they took it from mangas and shit, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
they wrote the actual script for the shows and scripted it out and did the storyboarding. And
it doesn't say, it just says the animation studio. In an era where the internet knows no bounds, we are proud to deliver high-quality original content to fans all over the world at the exact same time, no matter where they live. Netflix, blah, blah, blah. All right.
Well, I don't know if animation studios in Japan work the same way as North American ones, but when we have a studio here, so for example, Mercury here in Ottawa is working on Tangled and Lion Guard, right? Mm-hmm. They have the writer in studio, and they do the storyboard and scripting there in that studio, and they make the show.
Yeah.
They're just hired by whatever to make the show happen, right?
It says the 12-part show will be produced by Anime Studio Production IG and directed by Kazuto Nakazawa, who oversaw the animated sequence for Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill Volume 1.
Ooh. There's a lot of great people involved.
Yeah.
It sounds to me like they're making a good job. So if it's those teams and those people, they do such a great job turning really intense manga franchises and Japanese stories into really great TV series. I mean, the End of Evangelion, they did a really good job turning that around and making it a proper ending. They did a fantastic fucking job. As a matter of fact, I will even say I enjoy the Attack on Titan or Shinjiki no Kyojin anime or manga. It is nowhere near as fun as it was to watch the show. The show was actually better, and that's very few times where the show wipes the floor with a manga. Attack on Titan was one, and the Ghost in the Shell shows were great. They're not the best pieces ever, but they were great.
It says the show will focus on a future in which scientists are experimenting on children to create superhuman beings, and then something inevitably goes awry. That's what we have for the synopsis.
So, Japanese story number 5?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's called Perfect Bones.
It's a great name.
It's a cool name, for sure.
See, the other Netflix anime show that's also produced is Sidonia, Knights of Sidonia. Have you watched any of that?
Yeah, I watched some of it.
It's really hard to get into, but as in the second season now, and it's really picked up. There's a really strange visual vibe to it that's really become addictive.
I thought it looked beautiful, but I just wasn't getting into the story.
No, it was so fucking slow for the first half of the first season. But now that it's picked up, it's actually quite good. And I'm really behind this. I'm behind getting these animes into Netflix and starting to kind of create that whole world together, right? Netflix is offering so many levels of entertainment.
Yeah.
Is there nothing not to like about that company? Does anyone actually be like, boo Netflix ever?
No, like, remember they said they were
doing everything perfect.
Remember they said they were spending whatever amount of $1 billion on all this original content? I'm so happy that they're not just doing movies and they're not just doing like TV shows. They're going to do anime. Like, that's great.
Yeah. And everything else under the moon. And they're making, and they're literally doing
most of the stuff is high quality content.
Yeah. And they're doing the fan demanded stuff. So like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon 2. There's so many people who are fans of the first one. They would love to get more. You know what? Even if it's shitty, we're just happy to have more.
Yeah, and like last week with the rumor of Young Justice Season 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bring that back.
That's the thing. I was just thinking about that after I was listening to it, like re-listening to the cast and thinking about that whole Young Justice thing coming back. Netflix has re-released a couple of series before, like Arrested Development. And they kind of like really fucking sucked.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I never
over and over again. And it's this thing, they've had a bit of a pattern of Netflix making something come back, and the new season doesn't have anything close to the magic.
Well, they just did Fuller House.
Has anyone watched that?
Okay, so the most damning thing I saw on that show was like, Fuller House is like the porn parody of Full House, but without the porn. So I was like, well...
Who said that was a review?
Yes. So they're just saying the acting is like, super bad, storyline's super terrible.
But so was Full House.
It had a charm to it, though.
Yeah, back in the 90s.
Yeah. No, I guess it didn't retain that.
No.
I was never that big of a Full House fan.
I was never even thinking anyone was really demanding they get more Full House. Did we really feel the story wasn't told? Like, do I need more Home Improvement? No, we don't.
If you brought Home Improvement back for one more season, I'd be willing to see what Tim Allen got up to.
No.
Whoa.
I worship Frasier. I think it's the greatest thing ever. But they really told every single story those people could go through.
Yeah.
How many times, unless like Daphne and Niles got like another divorce or something?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to see Frasier come back, even though I love Frasier.
Yeah,
it has like 11 seasons of excellence, and like that's all. I have everything I need.
11 seasons.
Yeah.
Friends. I never want to see another episode of Friends ever again.
I'd be willing to take like a Friends reunion show, like a 1 hour like.
Yeah, that's fine. You know? That's fine. Roseanne.
No, Roseanne got ruined.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like, it's just like, do we need to have some of these things come back? Now, Young Justice got canceled too soon and definitely needs to come back.
Yes.
But if it's not the original team and everyone puts that same exact effort to try and draw that back out, we could get a really crappy season.
That's true. But that dude in charge of it, Greg Wiseman,
yeah,
he does everything he touches is gold.
It's true.
He made Spectacular Spider-Man, another great series canceled before his time.
That's the difference.
He did Gargoyles, another great series canceled before his time.
That was so good.
He did something else.
But they said that there was rumors about that coming back, wasn't there?
Gargoyles?
Or a movie?
No, I think it came back as a comic a little while ago, if I remember correctly.
I thought there was some sort of rumor. It could have just been some meme of some hopeful nerd. But that's the thing now, if I actually do find, is that Netflix has started to hire people worth their salt to do these things. Because like the Arrested Development reunion, when it came back, that was a shit show. They had so many people and so many actors coming in on that. Like, remember how many actors were like, no, I'm not coming back. Michael Cera was like a big bitch and was like, I don't do this anymore. I'm too big for your Arrested Development.
Did he say that?
Something along those lines.
I remember hearing that a lot of them filmed like different things off.
That's why it was so broken, because it was so fragmented. Because like some of them just wouldn't show up at the right times. Or like, I'm too big now, so I won't come and like we won't all shoot together.
Yeah, it just seemed like something. If we can't all shoot together, like why make this be a thing?
Yeah.
You know, you need the chemistry on set.
I honestly think there was actually a scene where they had the room and they shot it where they kept flipping the camera side to side because they weren't actually still in the same room.
Wow, that's terrible. All right, next up, Pacific Rim 2 finds director in Daredevil's Stephen S. DeKnight. And he was Daredevil's showrunner for season 1.
Wait, what?
Which part didn't you catch? Was it all of it?
That was just like
Pacific Rim 2 finds director in Daredevil's Stephen S. DeKnight.
Oh, because the name at the end doesn't make any sense.
Stephen S. DeKnight.
It sounded like you just finished a sentence without finishing your sentence.
He was the showrunner on Daredevil season 1, and he's now tapped to do Pacific Rim 2. Random?
Wait, but what isn't Del Toro supposed to do that movie?
Yeah, that's what we thought. I think he's returning as a producer.
Oh. Okay. Well, if Del Toro's still directing, then that makes sense.
No. This guy's directing.
Oh.
No. Del Toro's returning as a producer.
That makes sense. Fuck. After all of that, remember we did an entire. I think we have a
we did like 2-3 podcasts in a row with like the Pacific Rim 2 no's getting canceled, and then it wasn't, and then it was again or whatever, and then
we're just like, maybe it was canceled, but Del Toro's just walking to try and make it happen. So now it's happening for sure.
Yeah,
it was never canceled.
Yeah,
and it's just that Del Toro apparently can't seem to hold down a job.
He's got his fingers in too many pies. We already went over this. The dude who one of the dudes who wrote Prometheus is writing Pacific Rim 2.
Ugh.
That doesn't fill me with hope.
That doesn't fill me with any hope. That's all bad in every way. Has that writer done anything good?
Let's give him a quick Google. His name's John Spates.
Well, John Spates, so I hope you impress us in some fashion.
John Spates. IMDb. Best known for Prometheus. Doctor Strange. And The Darkest Hour.
Oh, the animated movie.
Doctor Strange, 2016.
Fucking fuck.
He did the screenplay for Doctor Strange.
Oh, so. Screenplay. God, I thought you were having him like as in like the main writer or something. I'm like, fuck.
So Prometheus was written by him, and the screenplay was done by Doctor Strange. Okay.
And any other accolades worth noting?
No, it's a bunch of upcoming stuff. Pacific Rim Maelstrom? What the hell is this?
I guess that's the second one. Whatever. Nevertheless, there's not filling me with a lot of hope. Why do they hand this stuff off? Like, I guess Prometheus was a big enough of a movie and made enough money that it could be considered like a box office success.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Not a critical darling, but box office success.
Alright, that's fine. But just because it made money, they're like, it made money, so clearly we should put you in on precious projects. You ever notice they do that?
Yeah, for sure. That's what. Yeah,
like
that's
exactly what happened.
This movie made money. So, and like at the end of the day, I don't think people like. Studios don't really care if it's critically received well or not. Like, Transformers movies are still going because they make money, not because anyone thinks they're good.
Yeah, but you can run that off of only particular things because Transformers has, like, fucking forever usage of that entire franchise. It's just, like, it's Transformers. No one's going to stop liking the Transformers. But, like, Prometheus 2, we weren't asking for a second one, and we were getting one, right?
Yeah.
And it's Star Trek. Star Trek's getting the Fast and the Furious guy to direct it. Like, what choice was that?
Yeah. I don't know. Because, he directed successful movies. Competently.
Yeah, but now the whole thing's going to be played like Beastie Boys music while people ride cars, like, over loop-de-loops.
I might go see Star Trek if that's the case.
Ugh. Fail.
Ugh. Right after the break, we're going to be talking about what the big twist is at the end of Civil War.
What? Oh, you mean... Oh.
Stay tuned for that. Mike is just not on the planet today.
I'm not. I've got too many things going on.
And we're back from the break.
Keeping it short and sweet.
Keeping it short and sweet. That's what I like to hear. We're going to be discussing the... apparently there's a big twist happening in Civil War.
Yeah.
You know?
Both of the Russo brothers were recently interviewed and talking about what we were going to expect from the movie, basically.
Yeah.
And they very vaguely, in a lot of different lines, kind of stated that the ending was going to be more dramatic and make a massive change to launch the Infinity Wars, right? And it was going to be so like shocking that it's going to like piss a lot of people off by chance.
It said it was going to be a controversial ending.
That's the kind of word I'm looking for.
And so we're going to spoilers for the Civil War comic coming up, and spoilers potentially, I guess, for the movie. Technically, I guess. If you want to go in completely unsullied,
like
don't listen to this segment.
This is literally just like theory and rumors.
This is just speculation.
Yeah.
But in the comics, Captain America dies.
Yeah. And he dies because he gets shot, not Iron Man killing him, but he gets shot by the woman who started the whole thing, right?
Wasn't it Crossbones?
Was it Crossbones?
Wasn't it Crossbones? Shot him with a...
I thought it was the woman, the mother, who was all pissy, who got the whole thing running in the beginning and got Iron Man all riled up.
It might have been. I thought she just said... in that video we watched that it was Crossbones. So
that's why. You're right. Maybe it was Crossbones who sniped him. I think you're right.
Yeah, at the very end there.
Yeah.
So everyone's kind of expecting Captain America to bite it at the end of this one.
Everyone was saying he was going to, but then Chris Evans is 100% signed for 6 more Marvel movies.
Which is quite a few.
Yeah, like you can't have him just like come back in flashbacks in 6 movies.
So the theory now, is that it actually might be Iron Man who's biting the big one.
Yeah, because they're saying it's going to be controversial, and the thing is, everyone's expecting to see Captain America die.
So how controversial would that really be?
Yeah, and as we've all heard we've all heard that Robert Downey Jr. is a bit of a bugger to work with lately.
Yeah, he keeps. At first he didn't want to appear in Civil War at all, and then he had to get his money upped by.
He didn't want to appear because he wanted to get paid more, and then he was not agreeing to do it after they wouldn't put him into the movie more.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. There was a bunch of stuff early on in pre-production.
Like he had to be on the ad campaign poster, and he had to be he had to have his face on it. It basically became no longer Captain America; it became Captain America and Iron Man.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and a lot of the marketing material does reflect that, right?
Yeah. So he was been a bit of a nightmare, and he isn't. His contract is up, I think, after this actually, and he's signed for one Avengers movie, which is quite possibly the second part.
Yes, so it wouldn't surprise me if they killed him off just to not have to deal with him for a while, and then at the end of Infinity War 1, he gets revived somehow.
Yeah,
because they need Tony Stark for some reason. And I don't know why you need him to fight Thanos, but
no,
I don't know why you need Captain America only to fight Thanos either.
No, but I also do kind of see it because he's been the most exercised Marvel hero so far in the cinematic universe. He launched the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's been in everything.
Yeah,
and
I'd say he's the most popular out of them. Yeah.
Well, his quirky, lovable attitude and all of that. He's just the most approachable and the one that's most fun, and especially to the open market. I have this great story. My friend Tony, and she's from Eritrea, and her mother is from Eritrea, and there's a very classic Catholic family kind of thing, right? And she went over for, I think it was a couple years after the first Iron Man to come out, and she's trying to make them watch Marvel movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And she finally got them to watch Iron Man, and the mom loved it. So every time she goes over now, the mom's always like, "Oh, we should watch Iron Face again. Let's watch the Iron Face. He's so delightful, the Iron Face."
Does she always want to watch 1, or does she want to watch 2 or 3?
No, she just wants 1. Iron Face. Just Iron Face. Which I fucking love. I love that so much. But it's the perfect example about how approachable he is, right?
Yeah.
So, to take him out would make a big difference. Because we went down the list of everyone else. Everyone except for Scarlett Johansson has signed contracts for more movies. And Scarlett Johansson
we went about this in a very, reasonable and logical way. We're okay, let's go to the movie contracts. Not what would make most sense story-wise. We're no, let's look at their fucking movie contracts.
Well, that's the thing. The money's going to dictate whether they're going to hang around. And if you got a signed contract for the amount of money that you're supposed to be making, you're going to deal with a lot of bullshit if you break that. Right?
Robert Downey Jr.'s salary is going to be half the budget for some of these movies.
That's the thing, right? So and you put him in for 6 more, it's like holy crap.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
No, it's not worth it at all. But the thing is with killing Black Widow or whatever, which could be a possibility.
Sure,
just because she's the only other option contract wise.
Yeah. Because she's movie to movie, apparently, so...
Yeah, but she apparently is also in the works to sign up for 3 more movies. We don't know.
I just don't think, while I like Black Widow, I don't think that would have the same impact as killing Iron or Cap,
No, and especially with the amount of not conflict, but this is the amount of issue they've had around Black Widow not having a toy, not having her own movie. It's become a thing for them to just wipe her out so they don't have to deal with that anymore. The amount of, sexist bullshit that'll... go flying from that.
Oh, yeah,
and I would be pissed off too. The fact that they kind of abuse this character, who is possibly one of the best female kick-ass characters out there right now.
Yeah, for sure.
And Scarlett Johansson does a fucking fantastic job as her.
Yeah.
To just wipe her out would literally just be we don't like the vagina. So
not down with the pussy.
Oh.
Sorry.
Shut down. So, what I'm thinking is that wouldn't be the option.
There's been a bunch of rumors flying around that they've shot a bunch of different death scenes in this movie. Mm-hmm. Just like we talked about this. Just like the Simpsons when Mr. Burns, who shot Mr. Burns, right? They animated a bunch of different people actually shooting him because they didn't want it to leak or whatever. So there's a bunch of death scenes like out there. Yeah. And who knows which one it's going to be?
I don't really know which one it's going to be, like I'm going to call it, but my intuition now, actually, just because of just looking at the basic facts, is it's going to fall to Iron Man. You know, just because.
Yeah, and that would be a lot crazier to me if that happened. Then
yeah, like it would create more impact. No one else can die. Like Hawkeye.
Well, and they said it's going to set up the events for Infinity War and where everyone's going to be at when that storyline starts. Yeah. So,
and they're supposed to be at disarray when that starts. That's what they said.
Yeah. So, and I mean, Tony Stark, he the Avenger Tower is his. Yeah. He finances all that shit, right? Yeah. So that
all the tech is his.
That they would be disbanded even more so than they are right now with Shield going down and everything.
Yeah, and then Cap would be blamed for all of it. So like the Avengers couldn't be a thing because like now anyone who was associated with Cap would be associated with killing basically the Playboy fan favorite Avenger.
Yeah, that's true.
You know. And the one that kind of humanizes them and connects them all back because he's still kind of normal, right? He's just a dude in a suit.
And maybe Vision at that point's like, life isn't worth living. And then he just zooms into the sky and goes, sees Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, I want him to hold him and be like, Daddy. Daddy, no.
We're not doing a very good Jarvis voice. No. Talking about it like this, it does seem increasingly more likely. Because the other option is, say they kill off Cap, right? Mm-hmm. That means someone else takes up his mantle, either Falcon or Bucky. Probably Bucky. But then, where is that ever going to be used again before Infinity War? That's not really setting anything up.
No, and the thing is that neither one of those characters actually they're cool characters, but no one wants to see Falcon run the franchise. Like, I'm sorry.
It's true.
It's got nothing to do with anything else other than Falcon's just not a cool enough character.
Yeah.
And
he's a cool side character.
Yeah, he's a cool side character. And Bucky's more fun as this, broken, distraught bad guy.
Yep, anti-hero.
And they don't really have a lot of anti-heroes, or any, really, with the Avengers. So he kind of fits into that bill a lot easier, and they haven't explored him enough in that context to suddenly make him into a hero, right?
Yeah.
So, no, not on any of them. And the other thing, too, is I think everyone would mostly agree, unless you're a hardcore Iron Man fan, say that you'd be upset to have Iron Man die, but you wouldn't care about not seeing any more of him because I kind of seen enough.
No, and for the next slate of movies coming out, we got Doctor Strange, Black Panther, and neither of those would feature him most likely, right?
No.
Actually, they're not going to feature anyone really. And then we've got Thor Ragnarok, which is going to be Thor and Hulk.
Yeah, off planet.
Yeah, those are the next three. Those are the three before Infinity War.
And Thor won't die because he's already confirmed to be in the other movies, and he's a leading story component to the Infinity Gems and the Infinity Gauntlet and everything. Yeah, so I can totally see that. But it's kind of weird that the next couple movies are going to be a little more origin story based. Doctor Strange, that's an origin story. We're taking a tie back. After Civil War, we are taking a little bit of a swing back to a.
Yeah, it makes me wonder what's going to happen in Doctor Strange, and are they going to tie it in at all, or is it just going to be a self-contained story right now, and then he will end up in Infinity War or whatever?
I think Doctor Strange of all of them is going to be much more self-contained. I think Black Panther because he's already in the country.
He's already in Civil War.
Well, not even just that, but he runs a country, right? So he's going to be dealing with international politics and shit like that. So he's going to run into other people and be out there in the world, and he's a king, He's not hiding.
Man, I wish I was a king. What would you do if you were a king?
Cocaine and hookers. I don't know.
I'd get the cast of what's that show? Whose line is it anyway? I get them to be my court jesters. And then as soon as one of them wasn't entertaining enough for me, they get killed off immediately, and I'd bring in a new actor. I'd be Jonah Hill, next. And then Jonah Hill would have to come up, shuddering, just waiting to entertain me.
And no jokes about your dick. Yeah. That's all my material.
Until I got the perfect cast who is 100% entertaining, and then I'd let it go on TV. And then I'd be heralded as the next,
mass murderer.
Well, also that. Gotta pull your best material.
You'd be right next to Kim Jong Il and Un on the horrible scale.
It's just the Darwinism of funny.
Why would they even show up?
Because I'm a king.
Of, like, everything?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, well, I guess... Oh, you were talking about if I was just Black Panther? If I was just Black Panther, I'd just, like, probably marry Storm and be happy. Get to marry Halle Berry.
I have all the alien metal I need. I'm good.
Yeah, I got, like, some vibranium in my life. Got some Halle Berry in my life. Like, life is good. I'm a wicked Black Panther man.
My wife can control the weather, so if I just, like, don't like it out, I can be like, sweetie, do you mind?
Not feeling this sunny day.
Yeah.
Let's get a little cast.
No, but it's a neat kind of like paradox for all this stuff is that they've very quickly said that the Civil War movie does not, and it's clear it doesn't, follow the comic books. Well, I mean, it like very lightly is formatted.
Yeah, it can't though, because there was a lot of stuff in the comics about the superhero registration and identity and stuff like that, and Spider-Man was in such a big role.
Yeah.
But Spider-Man's still going to be in this movie.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
It's still no footage.
Still no footage. Still nothing.
And it's like, what, only coming out in like 4 weeks?
May, right?
Oh, May. I thought it was March.
April.
I thought it was...
We got 3 months.
Okay.
I told you, last trailer before it comes out, the last scene of the trailer is going to be like Spider-Man's eye. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be like his mask, like a half thing.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm getting really excited for this movie. In comparison to, like, you know,
Batman v Superman
getting a rated R on their DVD.
Oh yeah, that. Oh yeah, we missed that news. Yeah, that's right. Let's talk about that for a second. That's fucking stupid.
It's fucking stupid.
I feel like that's again just a response to Deadpool, where they're like,
well, the thing is they said
it's too late for them to release rated R, but they're like, but the Blu-ray.
It is the worst timing in the world because apparently they had the whole deal of making this rated R version back in mid 2015. Now, that being said, it could also have back then been a response to Deadpool just gaining so much momentum with their ad campaign, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Batman vs. Superman is suffering from the worst ad campaign ever.
Yeah.
Like, fucking awful. That Doomsday trailer alone was the worst thing they've ever done.
Yeah.
But now, every single piece of information that comes out just makes them look so pathetic and trying to catch up to Marvel.
I'm so curious what that movie's going to be. Like, I want to see if they're telling the truth about... you haven't seen the last act in that trailer. Like, how much more can there be? How much are you packing into this movie?
And how many different like areas and spaces can you hit on, right? Because like the director or the writer or whoever it was, the guy who's in charge of that movie, is big on the Frank Miller stuff, and it's like his his gold nugget that he's clinging to make this as Frank Miller.
That's true.
Batman versus Superman as he possibly can.
Yep.
And the last trailer was just that, and everyone's all like, "Ah, there we go," right?
Yep.
So, like, he's just clinging to that one. But then at the same time, he's tossing in Doomsday, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, fucking Lex Luthor.
Yep.
I think there's someone else in there.
Cyborg, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Like, who knows at this point, right?
Hence the whole, like, everyone says there's an ad campaign out there right now that's purposely trying to destroy this movie.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, talk about that a little bit. That was interesting. I didn't...
Well, there was a Reddit post that came up from a particular user who put together a rather convincing argument that's saying that there is an actual bot smear campaign out there for Batman vs. Superman. And he has these screenshots and like Twitter links and all that stuff to a Twitter post that's been posted like several hundred times by many, or even thousands, by many different users, and it's almost exactly the same post every time, saying something along the lines of Batman vs. Superman is going to be just shots of the Justice League crying in the rain. Which is a great line. Because it's kind of true. But like all like hundreds of different users are all posting the exact same thing over and over and over again. It's this big smear campaign portion of it. Which, on its own, I don't think is a thing. Because all those people, there's 7 billion of us in the world. Enough of us have iPhones. And a lot of us know how to control paste.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, it could just be a thing. But that being said, like, this movie just has such a bad ad campaign. It's so easy to like kind of interpret it as, yes, maybe something is purposely maliciously trying to take this movie down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But the thing is I also don't agree with that, just because the decisions seem so reactionary, right? First trailer comes out and everyone's like, "We hate your Superman." No one really believes in Ben Affleck or Batfleck. And, your movie seems to have no direction. So they're like, all right, here's some really cool stuff we think you'll like. Here's Doomsday and Lex Luthor, right? And we're like, Doomsday? What does that have to do with anything to do with the story? And we're like, that's dumb, right? So then they're like, oh, well, we're never going to show another scene of him ever again.
No. Here's Batman being cool.
Yeah, here's Batman being cool. And you're like, oh, okay, right? And then Deadpool's like, we're a success. And then they're like, now we're going to tell you that we're releasing a late rated R.
Yeah.
Which, they should have, said that way back if they had that halfway through 2015. But second of all, even if they did make the decision, didn't realize Deadpool was going to be such a success, and we're planning this rated R version much earlier on, they should have waited until, like, the DVD came out and said, secret rated R version.
Yeah. Yeah, the rated R is director's cut or something.
Yeah,
right?
And we would have been like, oh, well, you guys shot this back when you directed it, and we're shooting it, and that was before Deadpool, so, yeah, of course there's a rated R version.
Yeah.
But no. Like, these guys just don't fucking have a clue. DC just doesn't have a clue.
Occasionally, director's cuts are better, and sometimes they're a mess, too, Yeah. So, who knows?
It's just, like...
have you ever seen... Sorry, a little off topic.
Okay.
Have you ever seen Alien 3's director's cut? Or not director's cut, the assembly cut.
I've seen the director's cut.
The assembly cut was one done in, like, 2003. And they actually made a good movie out of Alien 3.
Really?
Somehow, yeah. Oh. David Fincher had nothing to do with it at that point, but
what did they do?
They expanded on a lot of the stuff that didn't make sense. The stuff like they fleshed out a couple of the characters a little more, just to give it a little more like this is why this is happening, and all the like stuff. Give the alien a little more.
Did they shoot new scenes?
It was about a bunch of unused footage.
Oh.
So they touched it up a little bit. They actually got like people to come back and re-record dialogue too.
How have I not
an
seen this?
even later cut. I have the Alien Anthology over there on Blu-ray, and like it has the most updated version that I know about.
Because like the director's cut version of Aliens 2, I actually severely enjoy way more. Like where they have the whole scene with the guns in the hallway that they took out the entire thing of like them actually emptying the clips and then going back out and everything.
Yeah, I don't know. I was gonna say I don't know if I've seen one without that. Then maybe I've only seen the director's cut.
Okay.
Aliens 2 is great either way though. I think.
Oh no, they're both perfect movies, but I actually was baffled to find out that one of my favorite movies of all time, and easily is one of the best movies of all time, had more amazing. It was just like, we just kind of thought it was so good that we thought you would have exploded, so we just held back. Here's your final 20%.
I love when things have more to offer.
Yeah.
Just like us, next week, we'll have even more to offer you, a longer podcast with even better news. I can't actually promise that. It might be worse news. Who fucking knows?
Cow could be dead. It turns out he does have MS.
Yeah, maybe I do. So goodbye to all of you. Beyond Vanu. You can find me on Twitter and my you can find me and tweet me my what do you call it, obituary. You can tweet me my obituary at the CalG. You can find Mike at Mike Kent Draws.
You can find Pens and Pixels on all major social media. Like, share, subscribe. Pass us around as much as possible. Yeah.
That's it.
Enjoy.
Be good to each other.
What?
Beyond Vanu. Why? Yeah, this podcast.